so today I'm going to go over support and resistance, how I chart my support and resistance. Alright, so the market is still going on right now. I'm finished trading for today. Uh, it's like 3 minutes left until the market close. Alright, so get that. Alright, so this is today. This is the 5 minute of today. This is what I trade on. So, alright, what is support and resistance? Let's see. Alright, so support and resistance is pretty much um, support is where the stock is not, it stops at when it's going down, and the resistance is where the stock stops at when it's going up, pretty much. All right, the support level is a level where the price tends to find support as it falls due to an increase in demand for the asset. This means that the price is more likely to bounce off this level rather than break through it. All right, so the resistance level is the opposite of the support level. It is where price tends to find resistance as it rises due to an increase in selling interest. Again, this means that the price is more likely to bounce off this level rather than break through it. All right. So this is a part of technical analysis when you're drawing lines and looking at like trend lines and bear flags and bull flags and things like that. That's technical analysis. Fundamental analysis is like you're paying attention to the Fed meetings and looking at the news and just seeing what's going on in like the stock world and like social media, things like that. That's the fundamental analysis of things. All right, so going back, and this is like an unedited version, so I'm just going out the whim of just making this video real quick. So, all right, so let's go. And today is April the 6th. So let's stop it right here. All right, so it's like today didn't even matter. Okay, so we're on April the 5th. So it's the end of the trading day on April the 5th, was yesterday, and we want to see where the stock could possibly go and draw out support and resistance lines. All right. So this is the 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go to the daily. All right. We're still on April the 5th. April the 6th haven't happened yet. All right. So my support and resistance lines, I'm just gonna start out on the daily. The way I do it, I go from daily to the 1 hour to the 15 minutes to the 5 minutes. Cause I stop at the 5 minute because I trade on the 5 minute. Sometimes I trade on 2 minute till I get in a position earlier. But the higher the time frame, the more reliable your your entry on your position is gonna be. All right, so put that here, here. All right, so this is the daily. So draw my line here. All right, so this is how you get to all of the lines and everything on TradingView. What I just used is the horizontal line. The trend line is used for like you draw a trend line like that, you know, something like that. Yeah, so this is what the trend line is used for. And you see how it went through that channel right here and then broke through, but it didn't go past our resistance lines there. So let me delete this if I get ahead of myself. All right, so I drew this line here because this is a resistance line. All right, let me just color code my lines for you guys. All right, so resistance gonna be red and support is gonna be green. All right, so I drew this line here because look at here. Let me zoom in. All right, so for this resistance line to be, you know, just a good line, you have to have a few touches on where to stopped and bounced at. Stopped and bounced at. So we got one touch here. All right. We got one touch here. That's two touches. That's three touches. All right. And this is all the way in 2016. So we got three touches. 1, 2, 3. And this is the fourth touch. So that means tomorrow, if the stock goes up, you can almost guarantee that the stock is going to stop here. It's either going to break through it or it's going to bounce off of it. So if you're in a call and the stock is going up and up, you know that this right here is an important level for you. All right, so let's draw more lines. I tend to draw like the obvious first. Like draw that one. That was a triple tap right there. 1, 2, 3. It tapped there 3 days in a row. You see, it went down, got some momentum, and broke through it, but it didn't have enough momentum to keep going. This is probably January the 4th, 2022. That's where SPY is the all-time high. That was 479.99. SPY all-time high right there. How do I know it's the all-time high? Because we're on the daily chart, and you zoom out the daily chart, and look, I'm all the way in like 2008 right now. You don't see anything up here. All the way in 1996. You don't see anything up here. So that's how you know it was the highest it's ever been on that day. So whenever we get back up to this level, whenever that is, we would know that this level here is an important level. All right. So, let's see where our other lines are. We see a line here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 taps here. All right, so let me draw my support lines. Let me go up a little bit. All right, change that to green. All right, this is a support line. Support is below resistance. Resistance is on top. Support is below. All right, so this is why I drew the support line. You got a tap here. You got a tap there. It went through a little bit there, but it pulled back. You got a tap there. You got another tap here and another tap there. Went through, pulled back. Got another tap here, tap there, tap, tap. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 taps. Very good line. All right. So let's draw some more lines. All right. Yeah, I kind of like this one here. Let's zoom out. You see, if you was here back in March 16, 2021, all the lines up there will be like resistance lines. So sometimes your support lines turn to resistance lines, and sometimes your resistance lines turn to support lines. Like if we was up here and we broke through this would be our resistance line, but this would turn to a support line, just like down here. If the stock goes down here and it break through this level, this is our support line and this is our resistance line. It's all about where the stock is. So resistance and support, it could interchange. All right, so this is maybe a long video. So all right, now draw a line. Don't try to get it like super precise. All right, I'll draw a line there. These are my daily lines. It's going to be more lines, but I'm just drawing the obvious right now. And you'll see later on as we go through the different like time frames, like the obvious is you'll see why we do it like this. All right, and I'm gonna draw a rectangle here because I'm drawing a rectangle here because this is our demand zone. Price went down to here and it bounced back up. Price went down here and it bounced up. So if the price does get in this demand zone, it's a possibility that it'll just bounce right back up. All right. So this is our demand zone up here. And it's going to be important when I go into the other like time frames. You'll see why I'm drawing these highlighted rectangle lines. And you get it from here, it's called rectangle. All right. So we got support, we got demand zone here and demand zone there. Okay, so let's go down to our hourly. All right, this is the hourly. This is every bar is per hour. All right, so let's continue to draw our lines. And look at our lines now from our daily. See how they're still in line with everything? Look at that. The stock just repeats itself. It can only go three ways. It could go down, sideways, and up. That's the only way the stock can go. All right, so let's get our resistance lines. All right, let me see. This is a good resistance line. Let me change that color to red. All right, because this is tap here, tap there. Consolidation, tap here. Okay, and we go over and look at this. Consolidation, tap, down, tap, down, tap, big gap down. All right, and we'll go over gap downs later on. All right, so tap up, consolidation, down. All right. So how many taps is this? Oh, we got more taps back here. See how I didn't even recognize all of this back here, but we made this resistance line only looking at from here on. But look how it applies later on, like earlier in the stock year. You got a tap there, you got a tap there, consolidation, tap there. So that's an example of how it could like repeat itself. All right, so let's just draw more lines. All right, here I drew a line here because this is a formation here, and at this formation it bounced off here and went up. That's one bounce. That's two bounces. Consolidation right there. All right. Look at all these bounces right here off of it. All right. Look at this bounce. It went down. That's a touch. All right. Look at this touch here. And I didn't even look at over here. I was primarily looking at this range right here. All right. So, but you see how the stock just goes back to that and bounces back up, goes there, bounces up, and you know, it's on. All right, so let's see. I would say this is a good one. I'm making these support and resistance lines so I could show y'all how it affected today. You know, if you was to trade today. All right. So I do this line here because we got a tap here. We got consolidation and a tap here. Tap there. Almost tapped there. Went down to the support line. Bam, almost tapped there. It's a tap there. Not quite there. Tap, 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 tap. Broke through, tap, tap. Let's see. Do we have any other taps back here? Yeah, we do. This is all the way back in September 21st, 2021. And it's April 2022 right now. Look at these taps. All right. Now we're in July 21. Look at those taps. Look at that tap. Went down. Tap. Gap down. Tap broke through. Came back. Look how it was trading in between those resistance zones. So at one time, this was a resistance zone. That was a support zone. Because it went up, support, resistance. You know. All right. Trying to get to today. All right, so that's enough on that one. So let's go to the 15-minute. All right. So we're here. So the 15-minute. Draw resistance there, consolidation on this line, and bam, went up, came down, went up, and if you drew this line, say for instance you drew this line at this period on April 1st, you drew this line where the stock just stopped at, right? You didn't know anything about what's going to happen later on in April. So you drew this line here. And then you already have this previous line drawn here. So when it bounced off of here and it broke this neckline here, this is called a neckline, where the stock came and bounced down, Actually, we could just draw a line here. Let's see, neckline. Let me just change that color. It's like yellow, whatever. All right, so bounce, came back, bounce. So you would have got in on a call at the break of this neckline, and you could have rolled it up until it tapped this resistance line. And then on the way down, you know, bam, it taps right here, goes up. You would have saw that doji right there, and it's going back down. All right, so continue to draw some lines. We're gonna draw a line there. I probably should just, all the lines probably should have just been red, because it might confuse everyone with the support and resistance lines. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. And go down to the 5 minute. This is why I trade on the 5 minute. Alright, so now we're ready for today. We're ready to see how the stock played out today. Just double check some stuff on the 5 minute. Let's draw a line here, because I see. Why do I want to draw a line there? Because on the 5 minute, I see it bounce right there. Bounce. Alright. This probably be a good one. That was a gap. That was a gap fill right there. I don't know if I want to draw a line there. Alright, I really don't see any more. I'll draw a line here. Alright, so let's go to today. Let me just do this. Alright, so you saw us do our lines, everything. And we didn't know anything about today. But that big gap down there, bam, it gapped down. Okay. So with you trusting your support and resistance lines, you drew a line here. So you could have gotten to a call here, a put here, and just rolled it down to this line. See how it broke this line and then did a pullback, and it bounced off and went back, and bam, it bounced off your other resistance line here. Okay. So this was like a good resistance line. This pair, resistance pair. Alright, so intraday. Let me rewind it back. This is how you draw your lines for intraday. Just start on that day. And I'll just go. Alright, I do one by one. Alright, so you're here. You got into, say for instance, you got into a put here. Alright. Trusting your resistance line is going to go there. But you still need to draw lines throughout the day if you're going to, play the intraday. If you're not just going to be a day trader, this is for scalpers here. This is support and resistance for scalpers. So for scalpers, you have to draw your support and resistance lines as the day go on and stop. So show you. Alright. See that bounce there? Let's draw a line here. And let's put this line as like orange. Alright, so the orange is your support and resistance line for intraday. So let's draw another line here, because that's the high today. All right. And don't worry about this post and this green line. The green line is where the stock stopped at today, and the post is where the stock is right now. Post market. All right, so let's keep going. So you know that your support line is here and your resistance line is here. You know that if the stock goes back down to here, it's liable to bounce. If it goes through this line, it's going to your main resistance line. All right, so let's go. All right, so look at what you're seeing here. You draw a line here, because look at all these taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 taps here. So now you're in this zone here. You're in this like consolidation zone here. So some people like to play consolidation of just scalping, buying calls and puts, since they have their consolidation line now. So let's keep going. You was paying attention to your stock. This is again a 5-minute chart, and you saw that it stopped here. Okay, it go back up, then look where it stops again, slightly there, and then it goes back up to your to your consolidation line. All right. So me, when I saw her break this line, I wouldn't have gotten in. Um, I wouldn't have gotten in to a call here, because it would have had to break this neckline here or that. Now it probably would have had to break this neckline here for a call to be valid, because this is really, it's breaking the consolidation line right here, but it's still in retracement a period right here. So I wouldn't have gotten into a call there. Look at this again. It bounced off here and went back up. Even though this is your main support line here, this is the low of the day. All right, and this is the high of the day. Let me type that. All right, that's a high today, right? All right, so this is the low of the day. So far, this is the high and this is the low so far. So you trade in between these zones, but this is your consolidation here. And I would have known that the stock is gonna break this low of the day, because this is formation right here. It goes, it falls, then go in consolidation, and usually it continues that fall at some point. All right, so fall, consolidation, and then fall at some point. So back to your consolidation on your scalping. So let's draw a line here. You draw a line there because you see how many times it's tapping. So tap here, go up, and tap here again. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 taps. So you're thinking, all right, so If it goes back up and it reverses, then I could get in the put and just get out at this line because it's liable to go back up because it did that in the past, right? All right. Bam, look at that. Look at this. Tap, tap, tap. And it went right back to your consolidation line. All right. All right, so let's stop this here. Draw a line here. Because I would have saw that, I would have gotten to a call here when it's breaking that line. Breaking that neckline there. Some people will say getting a call here once this formation been established. And that's fine too, but I like to wait for later confirmation sometimes. Alright, so let's move this up. Bam. We would have been very profitable. Look at that. Bust a high today. Look at that. Alright. Then it fell back down. We don't want to get greedy. We want to get out 10-20% and get out. We don't want to like stay in it going for the moon if we're a scalper. So that's for day traders. Alright. So it went down. Look where it stopped at. Alright. It stopped there, went back down, and watch this. Bam. It went to your resistance line here. So when you saw this violent fall, you could have gotten to a put when it broke your line here, or when it broke your line here, your low of the day, or your consolidation. I suggest you wait for the stop to get to your low of the day, till it break the low of the day, and get in the put, and stay in your put from that line to that line. All right. Look at that. Remember we drew this line all the way 10 minutes ago off the daily chart. See, look how valid it is now. Now you just consolidating the rest of the day. All right, so that's the power of support and resistance lines. You have a direction of where the stock is going. Okay, and you won't feel like you're gambling. All right, so let's talk gap fills. All right. All right, so this is a gap. So this was the low of the day yesterday, and this is the high of the day today. This is where the stock like went up and just fell. All right, so it gapped down. Some people like to play the gaps, like they would as soon as it get into a as soon as it breaks resistance there to the highlighted area in between the gaps, they will get in a call hoping that the stock will fill the gap. Eventually the stock will fill the gap because a healthy stock fills gaps. Like a healthy stock is not like it just jumps off the ledge right here and just go down, just keep going down and never re-enter this area. You know, this is this area right here, it has a lot of orders just sitting here, and the stock wants to go where the orders are. You see, like it went up, went up. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just trying to gather as many orders and taking out as many um, stop losses, take profits as it's doing this. All right, so let's look for another gap, and I could show you how. All right, look at this. See, this is a gap. All right, so uh, gap and go person that likes to play the gap, they saw this gap here, gap up. All right, they will wait for the stock to get in this area to play a gap down, play the gap, to play fill the gap. So they would have saw the stock broke this highlighted area. So that means the stock wants to fill the gap. So it would have got out here, got in here, and just rode it until it filled the gap. Okay, and it took for, let me see, March 30th all the way up into right up in here, March 31st. So that's one day. They just waited. Find another gap. Show you. All right, this is another gap. All right, so go down. All right, so they would have got in here and just rode it up to the gap field. This is a gap down. This looks similar to where we are now. Look at that. It looks similar to where we are now. So you could expect a gap to fill at some point tomorrow or Friday. Next week, the gap is going to fill. We just don't know when the gap is going to fill. All right, my bad. Place that back right there. All right. So they would have got in here and just rolled it up to the gap fill pretty much. And sometimes people with big pockets, they just average down every time. Like it goes down here, then comes back up. So you would have got in the gap here at March 23rd and got it out March 24th the next day. March 23rd at 9:10 a.m. and March 24th at 10:45 p.m. It's a gap fill. All right. This is another gap. Enter here, exit there, fill the gap. All right. So let's go to another stock. Let's just go to a random stock that. Let's go to Tesla. All right. All right. So I already have my lines drew here for Tesla. It reached our profit targets on both ends. All right. So look at the lines I drew. Look at why I drew them. Let's start at this line. I drew this line because it's a tap here, a tap there. You know what? Let me go to the daily and go back and go down. You know what? Let me just delete all of this and I'll just start over. It's no big deal. Alright. So let's just start drawing lines. Alright, so all our lines gonna be like the same color this time to not confuse anybody. So I draw a line here. This is where the stock stopped at. Okay. Drew a line here, not even knowing what's behind here, and look at there. Look where that's tapped at. Let's see. No. We are at the high of where Tesla's ever been. So, alright. So, draw a line here. So this is the highest it's ever been November 4th. And it's 1244.22. Alright. I don't know if we're going to see that again anytime soon. But maybe. Alright. Dotted line here. Tap, tap. We don't have much to go on behind here, because this is the highest it's ever been. Alright. So let's keep going here. Tap, 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 tap. Went over a little bit, that's a tap. Over a little bit, that's a tap. Okay. Where we at? We here today. So let me just replay this. Alright, just like today never happened. Alright, so we're gonna see. Alright, so we are yesterday, April 5th. Today is April 6th. We don't know that this is anything's going on right now. So let's draw our gap fill line right here. Okay. Alright. Let's keep going with support and resistance. It's okay if it takes you like a long time to get these right, because it takes time. Sometimes you can like see it's evident, and sometimes it's like it all look the same. So don't worry about how fast you're doing it. Just make sure you getting enough touches. Alright, so this is a touch here. It goes up, I almost touch. Touch here. I almost broke through. Almost touch. Almost broke through touches. Touch. Okay. So this is a daily, so we're not drawing that many lines on the daily like that. That's your line here. And draw a line there. Alright. Alright. So look at this gap fill here. Look what happened. That gap was filled. It took a while. See, it doesn't always feel like the day after. So look at this. It's happened October 25th. And it took all the way up until December 17th to fill that gap. But the gap was filled. Alright. So same for here. Look at this gap. It was filled. Anytime you see gaps in the stock, you could almost guarantee it's gonna get filled here. Look at this gap from here to here, and it was filled the next 2 days. Alright. Because a healthy stock, it goes like this. You know, it doesn't move in like a straight line like this all the time. Sometimes it's like go down, up, you know, down, up. So, alright, back to our lines. We're going to do, now we have the 1 hour. Alright. We're going from top to bottom. Okay, so the 1 hour, look at here, we see this. me see this. Tap, 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 breakthrough, tap, tap. All right, look at this. We didn't even see this back here. Yeah, when we made this line, tap, 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 breakthroughs. Wow, tap right here. Consolidation taps here. Okay. I apologize if I'm not like super professional like some of these YouTubers are. Kind of doing this just on the whim. I don't have any like cool graphics and stuff, so. Alright, so here, this is a resistance line here, support line. It went down here, down here. That's taps, taps. It's consolidation, not consolidation, but tap. See what's back here. Went through, stopped. Alright. I almost came down that line, came down to that line, jumped up. That line gap down. Tap, taps. This is back in September 21st. I'm sorry, September 2021. And look how relevant that same tap is now, February 24th, March 14th. Okay? So we're still here up here. Go down to the 15-minute now. Everything looks pretty. Everything looks pretty good. I wouldn't add any more lines right now. Look at this gap here. This is from 25th to the 28th. This is a gap here. Alright, let's see if that gap gonna get filled. So from your analysis, you saw you didn't know anything about the month of April. Alright. You're in the month of March, okay? And you drew this line here. When it came back, you knew it was gonna bounce off. Alright. So look at that line here. So back in January 12th, you could have drew this line here and just waited for the stock to come back, and look at what it did. It went here and then went down. What it do? It did here, went here, went down. Went here, went down. It broke, and then it broke to this next resistance line. This next resistance line was made in this area here. Look how the taps down and the taps up. See, yeah. Look at that. Tap there, tap there. This line was made on our daily chart. So we're in the 15-minute. So look how powerful resistance lines is when you get them right. Alright, so 5-minute. Now we ready to trade, okay? So let's see what today is gonna do. Oh, look at that. Now we today, look at this gap right here. It created a gap. This was April 5th, and this is April 6th. It created a down gap. This is the previous gap here, made all the way back on March the 25th. Okay. So now we filling this gap. It looks like, I don't know yet. So let's go. Tesla just really consolidated today, huh? Alright, so Tesla didn't necessarily fill the gap today, but you see how the high, this is the high today, and this is the low of the day. Alright, so let's draw lines here for high today and here for low of the day. Alright. So let's backtrack it to, alright, so we started up here, we're going down, now we're here, and when we get here, we mark here as the low of the day when it bounced up. Okay, so you know, if it breaks this low of the day, it has room to go down farther, and our next resistance line seems like this gap fill right here. Wow, look at this. I just drew this line here just for the low of the day, but look at this. This was back in March 23rd. Look at that. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Support and resistance right there. Resistance, support, resistance. So we could have used that for knowing where the stock is going to stop at. Alright, so with that being known, let's find the line. Let's go for this line here. It seems like a pretty good support, resistance, resistance, almost resistance. So let's see. If it breaks this line here, maybe it goes down to this line. So let's see. Alright, so there we go. We broke that line. It didn't quite make it. It didn't quite make it. But you saw it break the low of the day and it went down and tried, but it just bounced back up. And you would have known to get in the call for the scalpers right here. You would have drew a line here. When it bounced and retraced, you would have drew a line there. So if it goes above this line, you know to get in the call because it's breaking your consolidation. So you as a scalper seeing this consolidating, right? It breaks your low of the day and you get in the put, you would have been profitable Not like super profitable, but you would have came out on a good end here. Probably would have got out when you saw that doji there and the call volume going up. So go back up, breaking your consolidation here. You getting the call and ride it up. Okay, bounce. See how it almost bounces off your previous low of the day, but didn't quite make it down there. Then went back up. This line here is still valid. Look at that. Bounced here and went back up, even though it broke. Alright, so still playing your consolidation line. You could have gotten a call here. Got profit there. Gotten a call here and got profit there. Alright. So we're in a situation here where this stock could either go up here to fill that gap or continue to go down to fill that gap. So it might go down, then go back up. But look how valid our lines are. Let's see, this is a gal here. Wow, Facebook really been getting his butt handed to him. How big that gap is. Gosh. Alright, so let's draw a line here. Let's just look back to see. Look at that. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Gap fill. Gap. Resistance, bounce, bounce. Just draw a little line here. Alright. Let's go. See? Went through, bounce up. Alright, so let's draw a line here. Not knowing what's behind us, let's just draw a line here to see. Look at that. Straddling the line. Resistance there, support there, resistance there, support, gap, fill, gap, fill, gap, fill, gap, filled all the way down here. This gap here, filled. All right. So this is our hourly. So we want to draw a line. We're gonna draw a line there because it went there and then went back down. We see it went there and went back down. This is the hourly chart. Alright, so we just drew this line here. Let's see how valid this is all the way back. Wow, look at that. Same exact line. We didn't even know that this was going to happen. Same line here, support. Resistance, resistance. Breakthrough, support, support, support. Breakthrough, consolidation. Gap down, support. Look at this. Support. Support and resistance there. Resistance. Alright, so 15-minute. Alright, so after 15-minute, you would drew a line here where this gap happened. Look at, you see where the gap happened and the gap fill? And then how it acted as resistance. Resistance. Alright, so you're intraday now. This is the last example, by the way. You're in intraday now. So you have your lines here of where the stock could go, bounce, resistance, support. So you went through your support line. See, this is how you could have played this. The opening right here. When you start seeing the downtrend, you could have just played it to your closest support line. Because you see how it went here and then bounced and then continued to go down. That's valid. Alright, so here you would have charted your low of the day right here. This double tap right here is the low of the day so far, and this is the high of the day. So okay. Alright, so let's keep going. Intraday, 5-minute. When it broke your low of the day, this big body here, you could have gained the put here, been slightly profitable. And it never broke your high of the day. It consolidated most of the day. It broke here for like a $1, maybe. Let me see. 22258. Yeah, 22145. So that's like $1. So you would have saw the body breaking here, and you could have got in on a put and rolled it down until you saw the reverse counter here and got out. So that's how I draw my support and resistance lines. So I hope this helped you out. And if I have more information in the future, I will most definitely do another video on it. Until then, peace.